I'm Joshua David Ling, and this is my spoiler filled review of Doctor Strange.
Stephen Strange. Might I offer you some advice? Forget everything that you think you know.
You're a man looking at the world through a keyhole. You've spent your life trying to widen it. Your work saved the lives of thousands. What if I told you that reality is one of many?
I don't believe in fairy tales about chakras or energy or the power of belief.
You wonder what I see in your future? Possibility.
In this entry into Marvel's cinematic universe, the folks sought to broaden their horizons somewhat, opening up more and more of the expanded Marvel universe so that there can be connections between the very Earthbound and Asgard-bound heroes in the Avengers, etc., and start linking them to Thanos for Infinity War. To do that, they needed a Sorcerer Supreme, and they got that with Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch deserves some kind of award for his acting, at least for the iconic way in which he does things. Tony Stark also, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. I would definitely say that Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. I'm having a hard time saying his name. His American accent is somehow even more, it pulls you in even more than his British accent. He plays an excellent sociopath who changes his ways over time, maybe even better than Robert Downey Jr. did with Tony Stark. We also got some very good supporting roles from Chiwetel Ejiofor, I believe is how his name is pronounced. I'm not positive. He was the operative in the movie Serenity. I honestly feel like he's one of the most sympathetic villains that we've had since Loki. And he really isn't a villain until the very end of the movie. He's actually a good guy. And I think that amount of time spent with him really helped develop an idea that he is willing to fight for and that some people can actually get behind. Tilda Swinton does an amazing job as the Ancient One. I was very skeptical about the idea of casting a Celtic woman in the role of what is traditionally a Tibetan man. However, it gave the role of the Ancient One a bit more gravitas. It's very obvious that the Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme, is actually a role that is passed down. It's a guardianship. It's a mantle that one bears, and I was impressed by that. And Tilda Swinton really did hold her own through the whole movie. But no matter how good your performances are, you have to have a good story, and this one definitely has it. It felt like a throwback to some of the original Marvel movies that we love so much, such as the original Iron Man, being able to see an origin story without it feeling like every single other origin story yet again. There were some things that, of course, had to stay the same. Something bad happens to the hero's journey, all that kind of stuff. But it really is a piece of work that I think a lot of people could learn from, especially in storytelling, doing everything the same way yet different. Particularly, we can get into it. We do take the comic book origin of Doctor Strange, and we do it as simply and elegantly as possible. Him losing his hands, going out and trying to find a way to heal them beyond medicine. And even he's skeptical, but he's desperate to try anything. And he finds this whole new world. And that's where we delve into the trippiness that I really, really wanted to see. There's a good amount of trippy, weird, LSD driven visuals in this movie. And I was very, very pleased with that. Moving even further, we get into some amazing themes of fear. This new world that he doesn't understand, but he is quickly gaining understanding over. He's afraid of failing. And in this world, he's not as perfect as he would be in a doctor's role. And he has to cope with that and cope with the fact that things are harder for him than they've ever have been. He has to overcome that and overcome his fear of failure. That is a major theme in the movie. And also, one of the things that I think was most impressive is when we get to the end, when you have your typical Marvel. There's some big giant thing, world crushing thing. I forget what the name of it was. That's how memorable it was. However, it was interesting, simply because of the way that Doctor Strange actually destroyed it, and that is the fact that he used time to trap the monster and kept coming back and back and back, sacrificing himself over and over and over for the good of mankind. Who knows how long he was there? Who knows how many years of his life that he let go by in order to save the world? That is some huge sacrifice. And not only that, but it got him over, at least as far as we can see, his fear of failure. And I think using the fear of failure, your protagonist's fear, to fuel what he has to do to stop the villain is one of the best, simplest ways that you can really add tension to your own story. In conclusion, I may actually have a new favorite superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm a big Thor fan, for those of you who listen to Story to Screen, but I'm telling you what, Doctor Strange is a very, very interesting character, very interesting performance by Benedict Cumberbatch, and also the powers, man. Who can beat magic? Magic is awesome, and it was incredible to see throughout the movie. Were there problems with this movie? Definitely. Were there a lot of cliches? Sure. I don't think it was completely cliched, though. I think there was a lot of things that were different that set this apart. Some of the villains were forgettable, but that's par for the course with Marvel. Some of the CG was, kind of takes you out of the story sometimes, but it is incredible to see these characters come to life on a screen, and I am very, very much a fan of Doctor Strange, and even more so after seeing this movie. Seeing these characters come to life is what these Marvel movies are all about, and I think that it will connect well to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, giving them a gap and a bridge besides what Thor has to reach Thanos so they can save the day once again, possibly losing some lives along the way. I don't know for sure. Any which way, I would definitely recommend going out and watching Doctor Strange, especially if you want something different in a Marvel movie, but like you enjoy Marvel movies to begin with. If you've been wanting something different from Marvel, but been enjoying the ride so far, you will not be disappointed with Doctor Strange. It is strange, haha, and different. For Story to Screen, this is Joshua Ling signing off.